I'm Zuzka, the Craftsy Penguin, and today it's time for a bit of a recap of the last year and looking into the year that's coming. Might be a bit late for a recap, I know the start of January was a few weeks ago, but my own journey on YouTube with my crafts started sort of in February last year, so it's about time for me. What you've just seen are collages of almost all of the fiber crafts that I did in 2024. And when I made those collages, I was quite shocked by the sheer number of stuff that I managed to make. Of course, there are small, tiny things, but they are still enjoyable craftsy projects, so it was great to see how much I managed to do, and it was quite surprising actually. It was something like 60 individual fiber crafts projects, and besides that I made other stuff. I did some baking, I did some decluttering, I sorted some stuff after my late grannies. There was a lot of work to do there, and there still is a lot of work there to be done. And making videos, of course, that's a craft in itself, I believe. I think it's hard to explain how it adds to all of that. It just is a whole another line of creative process. So I'm putting myself under a bit of pressure there. Also, for that whole year, I managed, like in the years before, to keep 2 tiny humans alive. Yay me! Which is totally not the least part of all that. And I know sometimes it might sound like there are just these 2 pairs of criminal handsies that are an obstacle to my creative journey. Actually, they're not. They're a huge inspiration. They're a joy to be around. And it's so much fun. There is so much trouble, but there is so much fun as well. And they're a whole book of life lessons and already a whole book of memories. So I wish you think fondly of them as well while following my videos. Anyways, there was so many craftsy projects that I couldn't possibly go through all of them in this recap video, so I chose some of them as highlights. Those that made me proud the most, those that brought special joy, those that I enjoy often or even every day, and those that I gifted away but still have memories of them and do see people wearing them, and it's honestly amazing. So, first of all, and it's not on my pile here to show, but it sits in my closet. That was the Aries sweater, or the Aries sweater. I'll have a picture here on the screen. I still can't believe I actually finished that, and that it looks like I had imagined it to look like before I started it. And also it used up so much yarn. I believe this totally helped with my stash busting, which there is an update coming soon. So stay tuned for that. I used almost the whole pack of the Lisa premium yarn for that. Not as much of the Alizabella batik that I thought it would eat up, but still that wasn't significant amount of yarn used in that sweater, although it is short-sleeved in the end. But it's great. I already wore it several times. It got a bit fluffy with use, and the colors are just amazing, so I'm enjoying that very much. Then the next thing that I really loved, and it's a thing that gets a lot of views are the melon hats. The hats for summer that I made for my kiddos. And they love them still, and they wore them the whole summer, and Marek even asked for his one to be taken out of storage now in winter, although he can't wear it outside. And it made many people smile when they saw it. Both the hats got some nice, kind remarks from strangers, and as I wished when I made them, they helped me see the kiddos at the playground at first glance and not lose track of them. Marek's melon hat actually got a compliment even from his teacher at kindergarten, especially when it was paired with a t-shirt with melons that he has and with red shorts and socks. So that was really funny. Again, it just looks great. It's funny, it's unique. No other kid around here has something like that, so I'm happy I was able to make that for them. Next up was not a crochet project, but a sewing project, which I'm still so happy that I braved. And even though it's absolutely not perfect, there are some really botched up things in it, but I'm happy I did it. I am proud of it, and I wore it so many times. It's like it's my go-to now. It's the skirt out of the Starry Night Arsenate OSHA baby wearing fabric. As you might remember, I had very limited amount of this fabric. I know I can't fit it in the frame, but I will have again the picture on screen. This is amazing. The fabric is a bit heavy. It's great for summer because there is linen in it. It's great for winter with leggings under it. I've worn it so many times. Like, it's comfy, it has pockets, it's great, and it suits my wardrobe. So there's just this thing I need to fix: the lower corners of the pockets, because that's a weak point, and I believe I didn't stitch that actually as well as I could. So that will need some reinforcement. Only on one side it looks like though, so that's good. So this is something that I'm really proud of, and it's actually an encouragement for further sewing plans that I have, and I will talk about my plans for this year in a bit, and you'll see there's some sewing. So I need to remember I managed to do this. I managed to do this with a limited amount of fabric, and it turned out really great. So proud of this, very happy with it. So 5 stars. 5 stars for me. Next up is something that got so many comments online when I posted it in the Czech crochet group on Facebook. And it's something that I enjoy so much. It's such a fun thing. Of course, I'm talking about the ruffle hat. And it's funny because everyone I know is enjoying seeing it on me and compliments it, and it brings people smiles and joy. But of course, Facebook being Facebook and Czech crochet group being Czech crochet group, the reactions over there just, I don't know. People were sort of against an idea of such a hat. I don't care. I really don't care. And of course, it's now almost a year ago that I made it. But last week it was, I gained a new comment on that post, on that 1-year-old post on Facebook, and it was a negative comment in the sense of like, no, not this thing, no. I was like, I don't care. I just laughed at that, because why not? Why not? The colors are amazing. It's a great thing for this, beginning of spring, late autumn time when it gets chilly but not too cold, and I just want to wear something bright and colorful and cheerful, and this is perfect for it. So comments be damned. Next up was a very straightforward in the end and quite easy project actually, and that's the kaleidoscope top. I really love the colors. It came out great. The combination is just, I love it. And the construction was really easy. It was great to work on it, outside, sitting on a bench at the playground or something. I have great memories of making it and great memories of wearing it, because I managed to wear it so many times during the summer, and I'm already looking forward to next summer to wear it again, because it's great. I just love it. It's amazing. So this as well, 5 out of 5 or 10 out of 10. It's great project. I would recommend making this in some light cotton fabric or cotton yarn, or maybe even something lighter. It's a perfect top for summer. It's great. And then one thing that I don't have around here, because it's in my mother's wardrobe, is the diagonal top. I have to say, it fits her and suits her so well. It's amazing. She wore it as well last summer quite many times, and I think she's really happy with it. And as you know, I started it the year before. I started it actually in 2023 and finished it in 2024, and I made the video tutorial in 2 parts for that top, because as you know, the pattern was a bit elusive. There was a special trick to make it work, and it needed some explaining, and there are not many tutorials on it online, so I decided to make it. It was one of the things that was a goal, or the wish to make that tutorial was something that actually made me start making videos. And I knew I needed to work up the skill a bit for making the tutorial, and I hope I managed. I will link the tutorial, of course, in the card, in the description. You can check that out. I believe it's quite good. It could be done better, of course, but I believe I explained well enough how you can make this diagonal top. And again, I would recommend it, because a part of that one magic trick that you need for it that's explained in the tutorial, it's pretty easy to make. It's not complicated. The construction is totally easy. You can adjust the size to your likings, to what you need, and it flows. It's worked up pretty easily. So I believe that's something that a tiny bit experienced crocheter can make and enjoy, or give to someone who will enjoy it. So again, that's one of the highlights for me from last year. Then one other highlight that again I don't have around here because it's in someone else's wardrobe and it is worn, is the moss stitch cardigan that I made for my mother-in-law. And several times already that I visited at her place, she wore it, and it made me so happy to see it on her. It fits, it's great, it suits her, she likes it. We found nice buttons for it, so that was absolutely great. And I was a bit challenged by this cardigan because I had a pattern for it, but the thing that we needed to make differed quite a lot from that pattern. So I needed to make many adjustments along the way. I needed to make it longer. I needed to change the neckline. So in the end, basically, I was a bit freehanding that. And it turned out great, it worked. The only thing that was a bit off there was the problem of the arm size, which I measured wrong. And after all, I managed to fix that in such a way that it's not even noticeable. And I'm proud of that. I was at that point, and I'm still so proud of myself for managing to fill the hole actually up in such a way that you can't really see it. It's amazing. And then in the end we found out that we need to shape the sleeves, and I managed to just freehand that, which again, great job me. I'm really proud of myself over this cardigan. I'm so happy I managed. And of course there was the adventure of getting enough yarn for it as well. I almost forgot. Wow, yeah, that was a story. You can go back to my older videos to watch that. I made a lot of remarks on that. I told the whole story over there. So if you're interested, I'll again link the relevant videos in the description and you can go watch that. Then during summer, I worked on another thing that led to a whole set of other creative projects, and that was the surprise Rocket plushie, where I tried and I think managed to make a crochet or amigurumi lookalike of our own cat. And it was such fun because I needed to keep that secret because it was a birthday gift for my husband, and I needed to observe our cat and her spots and her colors on her, which she was I think bothered by at some point. But I also needed to make the loaf cat longer so that I could fit all the spots on her. And now she is this small, fluffy and soft little pillow or something that our younger son enjoys so much and basically adopted. And yes, that all led to the whole row of plushies that I made later. The stingrays, the elephants, many loaf cats, the mega cats that are still some of them in the pipeline, and one of the first mega cat basically is now my husband's pillow or plushie for sleeping with basically. So yes, that was the start of the row of plushies. And there also began something that I will need to update you on as well. I talked about the certifications for plushies in one of my videos that got really that got some traction on the internet, and I will need to make a follow-up video for that because I have some new information about the whole process there. So there will be a special video about that. Then one of the things that I enjoyed making in autumn and start of winter were the dinosaur hoods, which I have here. Surprisingly, they turned out a bit different than I imagined them, but the kiddos like them, especially Marek, who wears his almost every day, so it's quite a surprise it stayed at home today. Dan doesn't really wear his that much, but when he does, he gets so many compliments and kind remarks again from strangers. And I didn't realize at that point when I made it, but it has kind of bit of chicken colors, so some people are not sure if he's a little chicken or if he's a dinosaur in that hood. But yeah, Marek uses his really often. It was already through the wash several times, so it curls up a bit. But he really likes it. So I'm really happy with those, and very happy as well with these two, with the colorful 6-part hats that I also made for my kiddos, but they are not using these as much, and I'm considering confiscating them because they do fit me a bit tightly, but they do, and I love the colors on both of them. Marek's one is, retro stripes, amazing, and this one with the contrast over here and all of the colors, I'm going to wear it. If the kiddos are not going to wear it, I'm going to wear it. So those are definitely highlights for me from the past year. And then there are the shawls. I had a special video about the Sislov shawl. So if you want to hear the whole story, again, it's going to be linked and in the card, in the description, everywhere. I was making it from June to December with many pauses and many decisions along the way, and I loved the result. And I've already seen that Blanca was wearing it several times. It's now with her overseas, and I'm so happy I was able to make it and give it to her. And I'm so glad to see it being used as I expected. It just brings me so much joy. And the other one, of course, is the Summer Freshness shawl, which I'm wearing this winter as my scarf. I'm altering between this and my older Craftsy shawl because different colors, different feels a bit, but it's great. I am really happy with the shawl, and it has so much memories tied to it because I started it at just before, but I worked on it on our autumn vacation at Vysočina. Then I had it with me and worked on it on our old classmates meetup that we had in September. And then, of course, I worked on it just before my eye surgery and finished it in time the day before it. So it has so much memories tied to it, and it looks great. And it's just, yeah, I just like it so much. It's great. I believe there are gonna be shawls that I'll be making that I will like better. It's possible. But for now, this and my Craftsy are just two amazing shawls that I'm wearing and using, and I'm really happy about them. So, Summer Freshness is one of my highlights as well. Now, as I said, those are just highlights. Those are the most memorable things that I made in the past year. If you want to see more of my creations, go look back through my old videos. Go check my Instagram because I'm now trying to post everything on there. I had a bit of a backlog, so I'm still feeding these a bit older pieces on my Instagram, and I will try to keep up this year with my makes better, because last year, honestly, most of the time I was just off Instagram. I couldn't I couldn't deal with it. So now I'm trying, but no guarantees that I'll be able to keep up with it, but for now I'm trying to. And thank you for following if you are. Now, all those highlights and all those happy memories aside, for a moment, we need to look at the plans for the upcoming year. So I know we are already a bit in the new year, but still, there's a lot of plans, there's a lot of days, and I hope at least a part of this I will be able to make. So in no particular order, these are some things that I want to make during 2025, and I hope I will be able to, although there are some hurdles that I need to overcome somehow. First of all, sitting over there are some yarn cakes, and I'll start with this. These are for one of the most ambitious projects that was already in my head for a bit, but I believe I could brave it this year. And it seems like this year altogether has some pretty ambitious projects stored in it for me, but I'm looking to turn these two yarn cakes into a crochet skirt, a long skirt, a maxi skirt. And I already have some patterns found for it. There are quite a lot of patterns, not many of them are free, and there are quite a lot of them at Pinterest, which is a hell site and not always as useful as it seems to be. But I have a pattern in mind for the skirt, and we'll see how it turns out. I think there will be some improvisation along the way. I'm not sure. I need to figure this whole thing out. I already looked into the way it should work with the waistband of the skirt. So I have this piece of special ribbon elastic band for the waistband, and I should be able to start the crocheting right from the edge of this. Let's hope so. I'm really not sure about the whole process, but I really want to do this. So I hope this is going to work out, and I plan to do it in spring, for summer, to be ready for summer. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to finish it in the time frame that I expect myself to, but we'll try. And there is another yarn cake, as you might have noticed, and I have a pattern in mind for this. Originally there were other plans for it, but when I was looking for patterns for that skirt, I came across a pattern for a dress, which was an alteration to a pattern for a top. So I want to do the top version of that pattern. I'll have a picture up on screen of the way it should look like in the end. It's this thing that is wider on the hips and pretty easy shape on top at the shoulders. One thing that I'm debating is if I should use the green and blue part for the top part and the pink for the lower part, or have the pink up close to my face and the more colorful part on the body. So I'm not really sure. Have a look. Maybe give me your opinions on this question in the comments. But this should be an interesting project as well, and I'm looking forward to using some of my yarn cakes. I still have like 14 of them, I believe. I need to use them up. And one more thing that I already mentioned in my previous video, but I have the yarn cake over there. Just a second. Up, avalanche, crapalanche. Oh my god. I have this yarn cake for the all-long tee shawl for Belle. So I will be also working on this, and this is actually first one in the queue that I want to make. So this is the first bigger project that I will be working on really soon. I actually procrastinated starting this so that it wouldn't be already started for this video, if I make sense. So I will be working on that as well. So here is my pretty yarn cakes pile for the big projects for this year. Another thing that I would love to try in this year, but I don't have the supplies for it, and as I will explain later, I might not be in the situation to get the supplies this year, not sure, is dyeing cotton yarn. Because I keep seeing those videos of people dyeing multicolor woolen yarns, and it's a whole different process when it's wool and when it's cotton. But I basically got told that this is not done with the cotton, that you can't do it. And out of spite, of course, but also because of my love of colors and my love of variegated cotton yarns, I would just love to try it. I would just love to get natural colored or white skein of cotton and try to make it, you know, rainbow colored or something. And as said, I'm not sure I will be able to get the supplies and actually do it, but I know I can get the natural skeins of cotton. When you get to the e-shops that supply those, there are like 20 different kinds of animal fibers skeins to one skein of cotton in their assortment, in their supply. But it is possible to do, and the supplies can be procured. So I would love to try that. Again, it's a whole different craft to my usual ones, but it's still fiber crafts, and you know I love all of them. So this is one of them that I would love to try this year. And another one that I already know, but I would love to go back to it a bit and experiment sort of with, is weaving. I have some ideas for that. I have my Ashford loom, my rigid heddle loom. It's hanging on a wall. It will probably need some repairs before I can use it. But I have an idea of using some of my yarn cakes for weaving on it. And I don't know if it's a crazy idea or not. Maybe not. Maybe the gradients would be awesome in a woven fabric. So I want to try that. And there the good news is I have the supplies at home already, so I should be able to do that. And another plan adjacent to weaving is making some samples and showing them on video and showing the process on video, and making a video of krosienka or sprang. They're actually two kind of different types of the same kind of weaving. It's an old technique, it's a bit special. I'll go more into it in that special video about it. Maybe there are gonna be more of them, I don't know yet, but I need to figure out a good kind of loom for that. It's really easy, but I need to find the right material for it. And again, I can use the supplies that I have in my stash for the yarns there. For the frame, we'll see. But that will be an interesting adventure, and I hope I will be able to do it sometime during the year. Not sure when yet. Now a completely different skill set and completely different craft is going to be needed for the next thing. And it's actually a two-part thing. There are two different projects, but they're both sewing. And these have a bit of a story to them. I was originally really drawn to both of these sewing projects thanks to content creators, to YouTubers. One of them is Loopsy and the other one is Charlie from The Stitchery. Both of them I love to follow. They're great. I like their videos. They're on completely different life paths. They're completely different personality-wise, but Loopsy had made this amazing coat and she used the pattern I think 2 or 3 times in different materials, and it always came out amazing, and I really like that idea of that coat. And then Charlie at The Stitchery is sort of famous for using and reusing the one pattern for knit dress, which she alters in such ways that every one of her makes from this one pattern is different, is unique, and is so inspiring. She has this variation that is purple and turquoise, and it's a long dress with a huge skirt, and it's just amazing. And she puts pockets in every one of them, which is also something I would love to make. So I was looking at those two patterns, each of them completely different, and I already had them, found on selling pages for patterns, but I wasn't able to get them for myself, brave the thing and just do it and buy the patterns. So in some strike of, weird idea, I have put them on my Christmas wish list that we have in our friends group, and Meshi got those patterns for me this Christmas. I already shared that on my Instagram. So now I have these two McCall's patterns, and this is a sign for me that I really should try and make them. And it's just holding them in my hands is something so special. Wow, it's emotional. I didn't expect that. But yeah, this is Charlie's signature knit dress pattern. It's McCall's M7349. And this is the one that Loopsy made her coats after. It's McCall's M6800. So I have the patterns, but I don't have the materials for most of it. I have a material for the coat. It's been sitting in my underbed storage for more than a decade. But that's just the outer fabric. I don't have any interlining, I don't have lining fabric, I don't have knits for the dress pattern. So this is gonna be a challenge, but I sort of promised to myself that I will try and make these. So at least mock-ups, I hope, but better the whole things. Now, before I address the whole problem of buying supplies this year, there is one more plan that I have. It's for now not clear what is going to be, but I still have this bag of natural colored brown, beige, green colored yarns, that you've seen me mention in my yarn reorganization video, again gonna be linked, which for now is named Mumsy's Scrappy Project, because my mum mentioned she would like some kind of a scrappy looking project, you know, that one that where you use different kinds of yarn and in the end it looks special. I'm not sure what it's gonna be, probably some kind of a sweater or cardigan, but I need to discuss that with my mum, brainstorm some ideas, show her some patterns, some shapes. I don't know. We'll see. I think she's not inclined to the kind of garments made out of granny squares, so probably something else, but it's gonna be crochet. But now, I'm sure there will be much more projects in this upcoming year. As you have seen, were there in the last one. I already worked on some commissions. I'm working on some commissions right now and more are in the pipeline. So there will be many more projects, many more updates, I believe. I'm keeping a list of all that, and even what I said in these past few minutes can change and probably will change during the year. I'm sure something will happen. Something's gonna be scratched out, added, altered, we'll just see. But it will be fun to look back in a year or so and see how it developed, what happened, and hopefully there will be another recap and update video like this in another year. What I need to address now, though, is that I am pretty close to the end of my parental leave and I will be returning to work, to my day job, at the beginning of May. I will be starting slowly. There will be a tiny part-time for me at the start, and I'll probably get more working hours in September or October and then towards the next year. But for now, I'm not sure how big an impact that's gonna have on my crafting time and video making time. As I said at the start, it's going to be only a few hours to get back into the groove, to learn new stuff and see what is going to be really on my work agenda going forward. So that slow start of my returning to work combined with the end of my parental leave, which again, we are lucky to have the possibility here to have parental leave, which is paid and which can be pretty long, but then the funds divided over this long period are not that much in the end. And us having some pretty unexpected expenses that were really not planned, like, and oh my god, I can't really believe it, we are buying a new second-hand car because the old one that served us pretty reliably for almost 16 years is probably at the end of its journey. It is almost 20 years old by this time. It means that this year I'm falling pretty low on my funds. And I really don't like discussing this online and in public, but the situation is such that I can't really afford much more than basic groceries and necessities. So you can see why I said I won't be able to buy supplies for the sewing projects or some of the Craftsy projects of other kind. That is outside the commissioned pieces, which if I have a commission for something and I need materials for it, I will of course get those to fulfill the commission. Anyways, the situation is not as dire. I always have my family to lean onto. My husband is working and bringing enough money for us to live on, basically. But for me and my finances, it feels a bit tough now, and I don't want to depend on other people buying me stuff that isn't exactly necessary, which those supplies basically are. So I'm trying not to buy any yarns just out of whim and fancy. And at the same time, I know I am not in a terrible situation, you know. Of course, if you'd like to support me in this whole situation that I just described, I have the Ko-fi page, and there is not much traffic. I basically had it started just to have a place to share patterns in the future, possibly, and fill up the shop that is there and that I still wasn't able to fill up with the stuff that I have, which I mentioned in the last video. So I have the Ko-fi page, but I don't really expect, you know, tips and donations. But if there is enough interest, I can set up maybe some goal in there specifically for the sewing stuff or specifically for, you know, yarny purchases. But I don't really think that's gonna happen. But if it does, I'll of course use it for that purpose, for the Craftsy projects. I'm not going to use that for patching my own personal finances. So if you want to donate over there, you're very welcome. Thank you so much. I'll use that for the sewing projects or for the crochet projects. And I will be infinitely grateful to you for doing that. Connected to what I said about returning to work and then having probably more of it in autumn and winter, I'm not really sure for now how it's going to impact my Craftsy time and my video making time. If I will need to lower the intensity or the frequency of the videos, I might have less projects that I managed to work on. We're gonna see. It is entirely possible that I won't be able to update you on the Craftsy projects as often as I would wish to, because of course I'm trying to find times when I'm alone at home to film these videos, and that's not always easy, as you've seen during the times when the kiddos were ill or that we were on vacation, because of course I don't want to share them and their faces directly online. Through all of that, I will be really grateful for each and every one of you who decides to stay subscribed or decides to subscribe now to the channel and who watches the videos in full, which helps immensely. Also, really grateful to everyone who likes, comments, who shares the videos through the platforms, through the social medias. And thanks to everyone who's interacting on my other social medias, which again are going to be linked in the description of the video. Thank you all so freaking much. Thank you for following through this video as well. For now, have great time, enjoy crafting, enjoy creating, and enjoy the colors. Goodbye.